Thank you, Marcy. How y'all doing today? All right. Hey, let's do a show of hands here. How many of y'all play pickleball? Raise them up. Okay, I'll change the question. How many of you do not play pickleball? Okay. Why are you here? No. All right, so today we're here to talk about pickleball and Upstate Pickleball. That is pickleball in the greater Greenville area. And it's a fascinating story to talk about because pickleball, as we know, has grown. But it has really grown special here in Greenville due to a lot of passionate players on the court and compassionate players off of the court. Let me give a little bit more about me. I'm born and raised Dallas, Texas. And as a kid, I played a lot of tennis. So from age 5 to 12, I was always on the tennis court at T-Bar-M. But if I'm not on the tennis court there, I'm down in the basement playing backgammon. It was the 70s, which did in a way. At age 12, I started to play table tennis. Okay, I played a lot of basketball throughout. I'm a Baylor University graduate. I say that, why? There's a direct connection to Furman with the president of Furman, spending 20 plus years at Baylor prior to coming here. That's just my way to endear myself. All right, so professionally, Starbucks and Whole Foods. That's where I kind of got my marketing chops from. Following my time there, I spent many years as a self-employed marketing consultant, and I do have some practice giving presentations. So that's why I kind of bring some energy here. I talk about it this way. I am the pickleball class of 2024. I remember this. It was June 25th, 2014. Pickleball class 2014. June 25th. Everyone, when you first learned to play pickleball, you remember your very first day. You remember it because it makes an impression. My impression was made because I am downtown Greenville, down at McPherson Park. And I'm there. I have a tennis racket, not a pickleball paddle, but a tennis racket and a whole basket of tennis balls. I'm there practicing my killer tennis serve. I look over at the other court, I see this game. I go, hey, wait a minute. That's that pickleball game I've heard a little bit about. I went, wait, that's if tennis and table tennis had a baby, it would be pickleball. Okay, great, I'm interested. So I talked to Julia Hall. She was 75 at the time. Julia Hall took 5 minutes, gave me the quick introduction to the sport, pushed me on the court. I found success quickly. So much so, one of the players said, we got a player. I was hooked. That was 10 and a half years ago. Nowadays, I help to lead, air quotes, Upstate Pickleball. I'm just a volunteer. I know how to use my computer. Simple as that. But more importantly, I helped to start adaptive pickleball with Sandy Halkett that you're going to hear about later. Oh, by the way, at some points in here, I do stutter. It's my accent, just how I talk. Okay, all right. So we're going to have the kind of a quiz here. I want us to say who was president when pickleball was created, was invented. Show of hands, who thinks it was when LBJ was president? Okay, show of hands, Nixon. Show of hands, Carter. Show of hands, Reagan. Sorry, Gerald Ford, I didn't put you in there. Your time was a little too tight. All right. Everyone who said Lyndon Baines Johnson, raise your hand. You win. Pickleball was created back in 1965. Yeah, back when LBJ was president. We've only heard about the last 10 years, 5 years, and so forth. So yeah, so we think it was created sooner. But no, it created back in 1965. Created on Bainbridge Island. Bainbridge Island is just outside of Seattle. So Bainbridge is here, Seattle is here. Only way to get to Bainbridge from Seattle is a ferry ride. So back in the summer of '65, a couple of families had some dreadfully bored kids. Why? They're stuck on an island. All their friends are in Seattle. One of the families had a badminton court. And they went, okay, let's see what we can do to get really creative and make a game out of this court. So they said, okay, badminton net, let's lower it down. Great. They got a court, a net. They looked around and probably found kind of a beach, kind of a wooden paddle. Awesome. Court, net, paddle. What's left? A ball. They had all the components to make up this game. What they did that was brilliant that day and the many days that followed. They were able to create a game so that the entire family could play, grandparents to the grandkids. There were some quirky rules which level out the playing field so that the old and young can be competitive on the same court, so that the very athletic and the not so athletic can be competitive on the same court. So with that said, I'm going to have you watch a very simple video. I know you guys all play pickleball, but there might be something in here that might connect that you didn't know about. But this just gives everyone, even those who have not yet played, I'm seeing the guy in the turquoise shirt back there, a little bit more about how the game is played.
Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in America. It was invented by 3 dads on Bainbridge Island back in 1965. It's a combination of tennis, ping pong, and badminton. It's played on a badminton-sized court with a net about 2 inches shorter than a tennis net. You play it with a paddle a little bit bigger than a ping pong paddle and a little more durable wiffle ball. You can play it as either doubles or singles. So singles is 1-on-1, doubles is a combination of 2 teams, 2-on-2. It's growing for a number of reasons. It's a lot easier on the body and it's a lot easier to pick up. Most racket sports require hours and hours of lessons, but with pickleball, you can walk onto a court, pick up a paddle, and within 5 minutes of learning how to play, you can be playing a competitive game with your friends. It's a really fast-paced sport, which takes advantage of your quick hands and reflexes, but it's also strategic. It's like a chess match on a court. Pickleball is a great workout. It's fun for all ages and skill levels, whether you've been playing tennis your whole life or you've never picked up a paddle or a racket before. Pickleball is a really social sport. Unlike tennis, you're really close to your opponents and your partner, which allows for more of a social environment on and off the court. And it's a super competitive sport with tournaments all across the nation all year round.
All right, that gets us all kind of level set for this game called pickleball. So we all kind of know, again, some quirky rules to live at the playing field, but we're not here to talk about the rules. Instead, we're here to talk about the growth of this game. So pickleball has grown significantly, especially post-pandemic. It's very hard to tabulate how many players that are out there, but the statistics tells us there are 15 million people in the United States that play pickleball. That's a 223.5% increase since 2020. That's the pandemic. The source is right there. How many players play in the greater Greenville area? That's tough to say, but we're talking thousands. All right, so the popularity. Why has this game become so popular? What is it? Well, it's one of those easy to learn, hard to master games. You can learn how to play within 5 minutes and have success on the court. That is those quick wins. That is the feeling of, wait a minute, I can do this. But it's this continual drive to say, how can I get better? What can I do to improve? Because again, it's easy to learn. You start off just doing a hit and giggle, playing checkers. But if you really want to be a better player, you go from hit and giggle to compete to win, which means you start treating the game not as checkers, but as chess. And as you know, if you want to master chess, it takes you years and years and years. And in fact, you probably may never master chess, just like we may never master a pickleball game. But what I think is really special here, pickleball attracts like-minded people. I've always considered pickleball to be a bit of an underdog sport. Tennis, the overdog sport. Pickleball, the underdog sport. Tennis is aristocratic, top down. Pickleball is more community-driven, bottom up. There's something about the game attracting underdogs with the same sort of spirit, maybe the outcast spirit, maybe a spirit of nerds versus jocks. I think for so many years, the game attracted nerds in this world. Those were the unpopular high school kids. We get to bond together. The beautiful thing is, we ended up on the court getting really good at this game called pickleball. The popular kids, the jocks said, hey, wait a minute, we can't let the nerds have all the fun. Hey, that game looks pretty interesting. I'm gonna give it a shot. So the jocks come out to play, but the jocks lose to the nerds. They don't like that, but guess what that does? That motivates them to play more. Because they say, high school, we never lost to nerds. We're losing to them now? No, that can't happen. But the nerds go, hey, wait a minute. We're beating up on the jocks. I'm going to continue playing. And lo and behold, then everybody becomes a community together. Jocks, nerds, everybody. We're all having fun because we go beyond hit and giggle to compete to win. All right, pickleball in Greenville. Started back in the fall of 2007. All of 2007 was important because in the spring of that same year, Lynn and Ken Corbett went down to the villages in Florida, and they learned how to play. They came back to Greenville, waited some time, but in the fall, they started to get together a group. The group that they got together mainly consisted of their hiking group. Two key players in this were Sharon and Ron Blake. They helped to bring some of their friends to play. So the first game of pickleball that we know was played Timmons Park back in 2007. Take a look at this photo. They're on tennis courts, but they chalk pickleball lines. You know, so they would have to chalk lines every time they were going out to play. But this small group of friends started to expand. Something else I want you to take a look at. Notice in this bottom left hand, this corner right here, 2009. Within 2 years, they had managed to make inroads to have lines painted on the court. So the city painted them some lines. Obviously, something curious was happening here. So Timmons Park is the epicenter of where pickleball growth began, thanks to Sharon and Ron. Sadly, we lost Ron about a year ago. But his obituary includes this little line, just this little line. Ron and Sharon and friends introduced the sport of pickleball to the community, Greenville, where he was known as Spike. His hat said Spike, and I believe that I might even be a pickle. Okay, so Ron helped us to grow this game because he planted this big seed. As time went on, the community, it grew. And there were some key people that helped make the spirit of pickleball grow. And back in 2009, something called the Order of the Pickle was created. Every year, a volunteer would get inducted into the Order of the Pickle, the most prestigious pickleball award in all of the Upstate. In 2009, guess who gets the award? It's no joke, it's Ron Blake. So these players here, what they had to do is they had to try and, of course, communicate out the days and times that people are going to gather to play. But more importantly, they had to bring the balls. Because it wasn't BYOB. They had the baskets of balls that they could bring. Because we're talking 2008, 2009, you couldn't go to Dick's or an academy and buy pickleballs. You had to go someplace else. And so it was easier just to bring the balls there. 2010, Steve Johnson. He started playing back in 2007. I think he just retired. He was a younger cat, very athletic. Steve still plays today. Dr. Gary Allen also was very instrumental, especially at Gower Park. Gower Park had 5 tennis courts, painted pickleball lines. Gary was almost there for every play day we had, bringing balls and taking them back home. Carol and Johnny Gibson. They were also very instrumental in teaching. All these players here taught players how to play. Carol and Johnny, though, helped to start the pickleball teaching program here at OLLI. So we owe a lot to them because we have seen hundreds and hundreds of players come through OLLI to learn how to play pickleball, thanks to Carol and Johnny Gibson. Don Daniels, heck of an athlete when he was kind of younger, but still a hell of an athlete as he aged. He played a lot of badminton growing up, and he took those skills to table tennis. Maybe not table tennis, but to pickleball. And he helped to nurture the more advanced players. Julia Hall, she taught me how to play pickleball. She is the matriarch of pickleball in Greenville. At Gower Park, she ruled the place. She could be on court 5 and hear all the way over at court 1 someone cussing in frustration. And she would yell over, "It's sugar honey iced tea! Sugar honey iced tea!" She knew what was going on, but she was so lovable, but she was a menace on the court. I'm certain in her teenage years and in her 20s, what an athlete she was, because even at her advanced age, her competitive spirit never died, and her play was really, really strong. Sadly, she's up in age now, isn't really able to play, but sometimes we see her drive her car to Timmons Park, park it at the top, and watch us play. So Eric Thomas also played a very critical role. What he helped to do was he helped to make inroads to the city and to the county to get pickleball lines painted on gym floors. He's also done some outreach to prisons to get the inmates to play pickleball. So he was helpful. There's me, 2016. I know how to use my computer, so I was able to help to corral some things. All right, 2017, Neil Turner, Kim Ronan. What they did that was great was they were about sportsmanship. They were about having fun on the court. This was a time when it was getting pretty competitive, and people had kind of forgotten the fact that, wait a minute, this is supposed to be fun. Kim and Neil would always be the good sport on the court. Speaking of that, Joe Montgomery, who is here, hello Joe, and Sandy Halkett, 2018. What they did was beyond just sportsmanship, but they built communities. They built communities of players, and they were great sports about it, and they both got hooked, both got addicted, and just continued to play and continue to make the game a game for everybody. This bottom-up, community-driven game. There was this interesting piece now when we get into players are growing. We're getting lots of people playing the game, but where are they playing? We had 0 dedicated pickleball courts in 2017. 0 dedicated courts. All of our courts are on mixed use places, either painted lines on a tennis court or some lines on basketball courts where you're seeing so many other things on the court, it gets confusing. We had 0 dedicated courts. 2018, the circle comes back. Pickleball started in Timmins Park, 2007, and all of a sudden, 2018, there are 6 pickleball courts. Hallelujah! That was an amazing place. Easily got a little jealous of what's happening in Greenville. Wait a minute. Let's us get some courts in. Let's one up what's happening in Greenville by putting 8 courts in. Awesome. Then 2021. Hey, wait a minute. I thought Timmins had 6 courts. Now they have 8 courts? What's going on? Well, those old courts that you saw back in 2007, they were not in good shape. So much so that the cracks that they plastered over came back bigger, wider, deeper. So they went, wait a minute, we got to find dollars. Let's start from scratch. Let's dig up the entire court, and let's start and let's build something dirt up. That's me and Sandy Halkett on the top of the torn up courts at Timmins Park back in 2021. Okay, great. So where do all these players go? They're outcast. They're refugees. Where are these players going when those 6 courts are gone? They go to Gower Park. Gower Park has 5 courts on dilapidated tennis courts. Gower Park has painted lines. The community that bonded, also recall this is post-pandemic. A lot of players came into pickleball then. So Gower Park, 5 courts, and it became known as the Summer of Love because the community that was built there, the loving feelings that were there, everybody's in this together because the courts were crowded. They were packed. But everyone didn't mind because they were all having fun knowing that that's some of the price you pay today to have courts tomorrow. So let's reset. 2019, 8 courts easily, Hope Field. 8 courts, Timmins Park. Tryon Park back in Greer. They took tennis courts and turned them into 12 pickleball courts. Awesome. Momentum is really starting to take. Southside Park took some really old tennis courts and they turned it into tennis courts and 10 pickleball courts, spending dollars to upgrade what was currently there. Gower Park 2024. Gower Park again, got full circle coming back, was 5 old tennis courts. Well, the 5 pickleball courts on the tennis courts became 10 dedicated pickleball courts. Fantastic. The city put those in. 2024, again, more great news is happening. The county puts in 18 dedicated pickleball courts in East Riverside Park. A lot of momentum is happening. This is fantastic, what is occurring here. Pickleball courts are just popping up. It's like magic, but it's not. Okay, here's our map. Today we have about 130 dedicated pickleball courts in the greater Greenville upstate space. But these courts don't just appear magically. You have to work with public and city officials to make the case for courts. Back in 2020, the pandemic hit the spring. We knew that we had to make something happen to get more pickleball courts. So a group of players, Sally, David, Joe, Doreen, Bill, Paul, and me, started to meet. say we need to put a plan together. We need to find a way to pitch courts to the county and to the city. So what we did? We put together a pitch deck. And that pitch deck was for us to get meetings with decision makers at both the county and the city to make the case for why upstate Greenville, South Carolina needs more pickleball courts. We clearly had pictures to show how packed Timmins was, how busy Carroll was, Tryon Park, Swamp, Butler Springs with their two painted lines on tennis courts were always busy. Northside Park with the tennis courts and the painted lines, they were busy. Southside Park, despite the fact that you had to bring your own net, those courts were busy. We had a big ask, and the big ask was, we want a pickleplex. We want to think big here, Greenville County, Greenville City. Just imagine if we had a 4-season facility, outdoor courts and indoor courts. How amazing would that be? And how much money could be brought in? That's a big goal, but we also got tactical. We showed them, hey, here's what you can do to turn tennis courts into pickleball courts. We gave them schematics. We tried to make them to visualize what could happen, also trying to make it sound a little bit easier so that they would nod their head yes as opposed to saying no. But we also tried to show what financial impact there could be. If you build it, people will come. If you build it, you make a destination facility, something that can host multiple tournaments. Think about the tourism dollars at those tournaments, hotel stays, dining expenses, gas, retail, all the community engagement you now have at these courts. The relocation award. A lot of pickleball players are realtors. At this time, they started to get questions. Hey, I'm thinking about moving to Greenville. Talk to me about the pickleball scene there, because that's part of our criteria for choosing our city we're going to relocate in. We didn't have a good enough story to tell. But having pickleball courts tells a great story. And of course, it all adds to the, yeah, that Greenville line. Here's something, though, that we really did. We knew we had to be seen by city and county officials, which meant that we had to go to city and county council meetings. Sally had this wonderful idea. Why don't we all show up and wear the same fluorescent lime green shirt? When the council members see this group over there, this lime green shirt, they're going to say, hey, what's going on there? They also know that we have opportunities to get on their open mic agendas. So it's just a little bit of time that you can get in on that, and it can prove to be challenging, but we did our part to get in on some of those meetings. But here's what we would do. We would post up, say, please attend the Greenville County Council meeting on the day and the time. Wear a neon green or lime shirt. Sit together so that people can see what's happening. What was fantastic, May 2021, we all show up. And there's a news reporter there because there's a hot button topic going on. But the news reporter also has some lime green color in her outfit. She's intrigued. Hey, we're wearing the same color here. What's going on here? Oh, pickleball. Hey, I've heard about pickleball. Y'all don't have any courts? Really? Y'all don't need more courts? Wow, y'all got like 40 people here. Huh? That must be big news. Cool. Okay. We don't get a chance to speak. All the time's gone. So guess what we all do? As a group, as a community, we all 40 of us get up, walk out of the council meeting. Council members see that. The reporter saw that. She takes her camera, talks to us in the hallway, learns about our story. Hey, it's a story. I work for WYFF. This would make for some good stuff for people to know about. So she planned a deal. She's going to be out Northside Park on a certain day. So of course, what do? We make it a media event. The more people that show, the more that we get to show how much we want pickleball courts. So we go there, show up and play Northside Park. And what happens? This story. One thing we found out quickly. City and county officials do not like any press that could be perceived as negative. Their skin is super thin. Super thin. They get very, very upset when they don't look good.
Folks here say pickleball in Greenville is so popular, they want more places to play. David Sklar calls pickleball a passion.
Oh, you'll be laughing, you'll be sweating, and you'll probably go to lunch with a group of friends that day. It's just that social.
He says Greenville County has around 2,000 players, but only 12 courts. Still with tennis nets, but recently painted by Parks and Rec to have pickleball lines.
I would want a lot more because we have 6 permanent courts, and there's a lot of waiting.
The group would like more dedicated courts and a bigger facility called a pickleplex that could host tournaments. But Greenville County officials tell me they've hosted a tournament since 2017. Greenville will host 2 pickleball tournaments this year with the current facilities, and they're already making plans for more courts.
We do have a grant that was already secured this past year, this last December, as a matter of fact, state grant, where we're going to be converting Southside Park, which is an 8 tennis court complex, renovating that facility and converting that from the 8 courts to 4 tennis courts, and the other 4 tennis courts will be converting to permanent pickleball courts, 12 pickleball courts.
The county says the grant is approximately $74,000. Renovations could be finished by the fall. Players say they want to see more pickleball resources as Greenville grows.
Also, as far as the infrastructure goes, we're looking for perhaps what's called a pickleplex, which is a larger pickleball facility, as similar to the Croc Center here in Greenville City. And it's just a larger facility with more courts, but it also has like a clubhouse. It has a social meeting area, maybe even indoor courts, but it would really bring the community together.
Players here tell me they're wanting to go to more county council meetings and stay focused on getting a pickleplex. In Greenville, Renee Wunderlich, WYFF News 4.
That was a good media hit. That got attention. But there's a story not a lot of us know about. Christmas 2020. Greenville County Council member bought pickleball paddles and balls for his family. And this is a popular time. They go out to Timmons Park after Christmas and the courts are packed. They got to feel the pain firsthand. We don't know who this person is per se, but we do know it happened. And we do know that you need an insider. You need a champion in there that can feel that pain. This person is an unsung hero to help us get pickleball courts in the upstate. So today, it is an embarrassment. You go to other places, go to Asheville, they are so far behind the curve. Go to Nashville, they are so far behind the curve. I'm born and raised Dallas, Texas. Public courts, they're so far behind the curve. Greenville is ahead of the curve, and it's pretty phenomenal. Today, nowadays, look at this open play calendar. These are all the places that we have that people can play pickleball in the greater upstate area. Go to upstatepickleball.com/calendar, and it's there. And it is a lot. Again, an embarrassment of riches. Our players here, yes, we do skew a little older. I survey our group every year. This does not show the amount of younger players that are in there because they're too cool to fill out an old school survey. I get it, whatever. Look at how often people are playing. 60% of us are playing 3 or more times per week. It's about half and half, men and women. Everything is growing. It's about time for me to do another survey for February 2025. We asked the question of, why do you play? Half social, half competitive. It's community that is being formed. So many folks that have come here have found new friends. They have found ways to get out of the house. They found ways to get them to be more active. And they found new friends. It's phenomenal. As I talked about, we have passionate players on the court, but more important, we have compassionate players off of the court. It is a community-driven group, a group not of takers, but of givers in this world. And our group has been giving back in so many ways. I'm about to share some of our give back. There were so many more stories about groups giving back. So the Northside Park players, they continuously give back. They give back to the Foothills Family Resources, toy drives, and food drives. And they did a significant amount for Western North Carolina relief efforts. We've got ourselves Tryon Park players. They've worked hand in hand with Career Relief for many years, putting together food drives and toy drives. Again, these are givers in this world. They're not takers in this world. Rage in the Cage Charity Pickleball Face-Off. Dollars to support the Susan G. Komen Foundation. $1,500 they raised just at that tournament. One thing we've also seen, pickleball attracts some older players. We deal with health issues. And some of the women are facing the issue of breast cancer. This community here has gathered together. There are mentors helping those going through the process. And it's really phenomenal. We also have Pledge the Pink. Last year they had 2 music bingo nights. They raised $6,000. Again, these are givers in the world. And this just makes everyone having fun on the court as well as off the court, which makes us want to have more fun on the court and more fun off the court. Habitat for Humanity. Back in 2023, they had 6 builds. 2024, they had 3 builds. It went down a bit, but there is a reason why. So John Park, the guy, got the green shirt right there. His wife, last year, was in hospice care for much of the year with dementia and some Alzheimer's as well as some other things. So he didn't have the time to spend. He's already ramped up 2025 habitat stuff, and it's phenomenal. But that leads me to another group that has done amazing work for the South Carolina Alzheimer's Association. They started small, 2021, raising $500 doing a pickleball tournament, which kind of was okay, cool, great. They went, this was fun. They went, let's go bigger in 2022. Let's thank Sally, David, and so many other folks that have put together this. So 2022, $5,000, which then started to get the attention of South Carolina Alzheimer's Association, saying, hey, wait a minute, pickleball might be a fundraising opportunity. So they started to learn what activities were happening and telling others how to mimic it. This group here wasn't satisfied. Not last year, but 2023, $16,000. Last year, $29,000 raised through all sorts of activities. Again, passionate players on the court, but more importantly, compassionate players off the court. It's a virtuous cycle that just grows and grows and grows. Something close to me is APB. APB stands for Adaptive Pickleball. Everyone should have fun playing this game. When I say everyone, I don't care what sort of life challenge you have, be it physical, cognitive, or developmental. Special needs players deserve to play this game. Physical needs players deserve to play this game. Sandy Halkett started Adaptive Pickleball, a 501c3 nonprofit which enhances the lives of people not with a disability, but with a diverse ability. What they might not be able to do one way, they overcompensate by doing it better another way. Gary P. is here. Gary P. is an APB superstar. Thank you, Gary. Raise your hand, Gary. There, right there. It's pickleball, it's therapy, y'all. When people get on the court, they're able to socialize, they're able to get those quick wins. We've got so many stories about how players love playing this game, but what we love to see, their parents, get their guardians, that they see their son or daughter, and their hope, their expectations rise for what they're capable of doing because of what they see is being done on the pickleball court. Watch this.
3, 2, 1.
The mission of APB is to make pickleball playable for anybody that wants to play.
Catch the ball, hit the paddle, okay? Give it up.
We found that pickleball was a little bit easier of a sport to learn. There's so many intangibles. They're playing a sport. A winner! He is a winner! They're outside. Here's the ball. And from their pickleball IQs, they're getting smarter on the court. Not only do we serve the people with physical challenges, but also cognitive challenges. And we serve our veterans.
This is my lifeline. To play with people that can relate to me, and it keeps me moving instead of being stagnant all the time.
Every one of these persons can do something I can't do, and I'm learning from them.
Love that.
When we play a sport, it's a common language. We may not even speak the same language, but if we're playing a sport, it doesn't matter. Then the competitive juices start to flow.
Better get on it.
Hey, last time, so-and-so beat me, but I'm bringing it. I've been practicing. I'm like, okay.
But now they call me Killer Serve because my serves are so deep.
Anybody that's hesitant to come out, I say, come out and watch. I don't think you're going to watch for too long because I think you're going to want to get out there and try it. And our coaches are amazing.
Nice.
They feel more comfortable in a chair. We've got a chair for them. We've got paddles for them. We've got balls. They just need to put on tennis shoes and come on out.
It's all positive. Even on the bad days, at least I'm out there and moving.
I promise you will probably get hooked.
What's our word?
We are champions.
We are champions. We are champions. Are y'all ready? Let's go, Rachel.
We're just one big happy family.
Anybody and everybody can play this game.
Wow. Look what happened in 2020. 3 play days. That's what we had. Last year we had, not last year, but 2 years ago, 53 play days. 2024 we had 90 play days. The growth of this is phenomenal. Everybody deserves to play this game, to have the fun that we all enjoy with this. Did you see all the smiles that were there? Not only does APB impact the players, it impacts the coaches. The coaches want to come back to help because they see the improvement players are making. We have big dreams for APB. We want to have our own facility. We want to increase pickleball play days. We want to expand beyond Greenville, Spartanburg, and Blue Ridge. We would love to have APBers as employees at the facility. That's our big dream. How can you help? Tell others about adaptive pickleball. Show up at adaptive pickleball. Show up at a play day. Volunteer for APB. Coach for APB. Donate to APB. A sports chair costs $4,000. It ain't cheap. It costs us $120 per player per year to provide them the opportunity to play. AdaptivePickleball.org is where you can go to learn about us. I want to share this with you because this was really special. Last year, we had a float in the 2024 Poinsettia Christmas Parade. We had 65 APB players and coaches walk with our float. Let It Glow was our theme. And we glowed down Main Street. So many smiles throughout from all the players and from all of our coaches. Better than that, we cannot tell you how many high fives we gave out. Look at how happy that kid is. He sees Chris as a superhero. We got Cece over here giving high fives, or could be a low five, but she's connecting with the audience out there. It was phenomenal. We hope we made a statement there. So much so, I want you to see us on TV.
Good evening, everyone. Merry Christmas and welcome to the Poinsettia Christmas Parade. I'm Carol Clark.
And I'm Nigel Robertson. We are live in downtown Greenville. Main Street looks amazing right now. And behind them, is this the adaptive pickleball? Look at
Their
that.
theme is Let It Glow, Let It Glow, Let It Glow. The decorative float is glowing. They will have a glow party, they said, on Main Street.
I love how we have seen the sport of pickleball become so huge, and many groups make it possible for anyone of any ability to be able to play this sport, to get out there and enjoy just being together and playing games. It is great to see.
That is a huge group.
Yeah, it is. Pickleball is popular.
Yeah, just try to get a court. Try to get court time.
Very true. Very true.
So, who could have imagined 27 starting, planting the roots for growing this game, seeing all the courts that we have, seeing all the passion of players on the court and compassion off of the court. I don't think Spike would have ever recognized what he and his few friends started and what it has become. I can only imagine how much he would smile knowing how pickleball impacts so many people's lives throughout the upstate. Thank you all.